Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Banya Sharala of the Lions Den Camp, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Kharab Banya Sharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now today I'll be coming out with a lesson, and I have this app on my phone. It's called Smart News or whatever, and sometimes, well, I can say sometimes, but articles come through frequently, but a lot of the times it be about BS. But this one right here caught my eye, and the title of it says is another fast food operator files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and seeing that these restaurants, these chain restaurants, are now starting to file for bankruptcy. That shows you the state of Babylon, America. You know that the Lord is taking this place down. That His judgment is happening right before our very eyes, and not only that, our captivity is being turned back right before our very eyes. But I'm gonna read this article, and I'm gonna just bring out one precept, and then I'm gonna end it. And it says restaurants operate on razor thin margins. So small changes in the yeah, I understand. So small changes in their operating environment can leave them vulnerable to dipping from profit loss. It says in current economic climate, okay, a number of things that put restaurant chains at risk have gone wrong. See, the things are going wrong. Ain't finna be no more McDonald's and no Burger King. I almost said Burger King, but no more McDonald's, no more Burger King. Ain't finna be no more Checkers and all this stuff. The Lord is taking this place down. So the things that most American people enjoy as a comfort, it's going to be taken away. And this is all the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Salakia. Well, let's continue. It says first, supply chains have driven higher prices with prices higher, Salakia, and made some products hard to obtain. On a broad level, this played out at a McDonald's company built around its supply chain. McDonald's had to limit sales of French fries in certain markets. And you got to think McDonald's was one of the ones for a minute. They was bragging about over a billion served, but then the Lord let certain information come out and they had to take that off of their title. But nonetheless, McDonald's is like the top chain restaurant around the world. And it is now facing these problems as well. These are signs that the Lord is taking this place down. He's like the economy is crumbling. It is what it is, and it's just the truth. But let's continue. It says in other cases, chains took to selling chicken thighs and charging less for boneless wings because the price of chicken had gone so high. That's inflation. Things are happening with the debt ceiling being what it is lifted. Quantitative easing to infinity. Raising the interest rates to slow down spending. That's what's causing these things, and it's all eventually gonna come to a head, and this place is going to go down. Let's continue. It says second, labor costs have increased with retailers including Walmart and Target. Yeah. Walmart and Target, they charging like $15 an hour now. Sometimes more if you got certain experience with whatever they got going on in these jobs. You know what I'm saying? But it says second, labor costs have increased with retailers including Walmart and Target making 15 an hour. The new floor, okay, the new floor that has pressured fast food chains, which traditionally paid low wages. In addition, while wages are up, inflation, and rising housing costs have further pressured consumers' budgets. Pressured consumers' budgets. Salakia. It says that has caused some customers to trade down when they order, focusing more on value items or eating out less often. It says lastly, the costs to borrow money have skyrocketed. That makes it harder and more expensive to get cash if operations dip into the red. So the Lord is tying this place up. It says even the grasshopper, just roughly paraphrasing, it says even the grasshopper shall be a burden into this place. So high interest rates driving the price of various products up, making it hard to purchase. These restaurants are suffering. And Jake walking around here footloose and fancy free, you know, gadding abroad, not paying attention, snuffing up the wind, not paying attention to these things. So guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna hit Jake like a freight train. It's gonna blindside him. Why? Because Jake comfortable. Jake think everything good. A lot of people in America that is oblivious to what's really going on, they think everything good. They think everything straight. It's cool. But no. Things are happening in the earth. The Lord is doing mighty and great things. And it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Let's continue. It says it's a recipe for disaster. And now a third major Burger King franchise has declared bankruptcy. You got to think if Jake and people here in Babylon, America, if they ain't on Burger King, if they ain't on McDonald's, they on Burger King. Two of the major franchises here, or fast food joints, in here in Babylon. It says unlike McDonald's, Burger King operates on the franchise model. That means that owners pay Restaurant Brands International QSR a fee, whatever that QSR means. They ain't want to break it down, but they pay International QSR a fee and a cut of the sales to operate Burger King restaurants in geographic areas, such as Jake area where he lived, and other areas. But let's continue. It says that's a lower cost model for the company compared with owning and operating its own stores. But it also puts the company at risk when one of its operators runs into financial trouble. Boom. That's going to cause Burger King to go down. Because Burger King, now that I think about it, I've heard that before. They're a franchise, meaning if you got enough money, you can buy into the company and have say so and influence. Let's continue. And it says Burger King has seen three of its large-scale franchise partners declare bankruptcy this year. Both Meridian Restaurants Unlimited, which operated 115 Burger Kings, and Tom's King, which had 90 locations, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the first quarter. Things are getting worse. The Lord is he taking this place down. It says they have been joined by Premier Kings, which runs 172 Burger King locations and has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That followed a sister company, Premier Cajun Kings, which operated 19 Popeyes locations, filing for Chapter 11 earlier this year. So these restaurants, these major restaurants, Popeyes is another one. And that's main. And these three main that they didn't name, a lot of people go to them, but Jake be there mostly. McDonald's, Burger King, and Popeyes. And these three major chains have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I don't know if it's in this year or even last year, but man, I would say mainly this year. But let's continue. I'm gonna start over. It says they have been joined by Premier Kings, which runs 172 Burger King locations and has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That followed a sister company, Premier Cajun Kings, which operated 19 Popeyes locations, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy earlier this year. So, okay, there you go. Boom. So, like you. Popeyes also falls under the Restaurant Brands International banner. It says the parent has been aggressive in finding new owners for these stores. In the case of Meridian, parent RBI took over 32 locations while selling another 38. This is Premier King's restaurants are currently for sale, but but both Burger King and the bankruptcy court will play a role in any sale. So they even need help selling these locations in these chains. In case of the previous bankruptcies, some locations were not sold and were forced to shut down. That's another loss. Restaurant Brands International has Salakia been aggressive in working with its distressed franchises to help bring better operators into its system. Chief Executive Josh Kobza addressed its efforts during the company's first quarter earnings. Okay, not Esau is charting off. Let's see. It says our ultimate goal is to have fantastic operating stores, operators running the stores in the system. The system is failing, obviously, but we have some really great. Yeah, they just talking about what he talking about. Let's. Okay, so yeah, so these chains is going down. These victuals that was once easy to purchase back then for these restaurants, now the prices are too high. That's driving them to do things like shut down, maybe cut back, fire people. That's costing jobs and money. I got one precept and I'm gonna end it. This is Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 21. Verse 19. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So these things are sent for correction, such as famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish. They're sent as scourges. They're sent as things to correct people, to get people on the right path. That's what these things are happening. And when you read this article, it's an indication of a famine. When things really get crazy, man, these restaurant chains finna go down. But all these things have to happen so that this supposed new thing can be implemented and moved in. But let's continue. Verse 20, it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So these things may happen, but a lot of people here in Babylon, outside of the 1/3, the remnant of Israel, they're not going to turn from their wickedness. And they're not going to be always mindful of the scourges. They're not going to be always mindful of the Lord's judgments or judgment. Because why? Verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So they say victuals shall be so good cheap that people gonna think they're in good case. And what's going on right now? Prices are high, but it's still relatively affordable. You know, people ain't tripping because they can go to a McDonald's, they can go to a Burger King, they can go to a Popeyes and still purchase something like and everything good. They're not paying attention to the bigger picture. But because of that, why they think they in good case? They think ain't nothing going wrong. But even then, our evils, bad times are growing and will grow upon the earth, such as the sword, judgment, famine, and great confusion. These things are going to happen. And we see it in the times that we're living in now, that these things are happening. And it's going to become ever more prevalent. I'm going to read verse 22, my last point, and I'm going to end it. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it's going to be many people that dwell here on the earth, and mainly here in Babylon. They're going to perish of the famine. They're going to perish because they ain't going to be able to buy food. They ain't going to be able to get these things. They ain't going to be, and those that may get around the hunger, the famine, shall the sword destroy. And that's the ultimate judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So as we see, these things are happening. These restaurants are failing, and a lot of other things are happening. This is the end. And with that, Shalom.